KAKE News on your side at 11.
A man accused of murdering a WPD officer now will make his final appearance in court. We have the latest. Plus, the search for a Republican House Speaker continues. Will one representative risk a third time being shot down? And moving on to day 13 of war, the conflict between Israel and Gaza continues. What President Biden had to say in his address to the nation. And that's where we begin this morning. Thanks so much for joining us for KAKE News at 11. I'm Shane Ewing. President Biden in a rare Oval Office address last night declaring America's solidarity with Israel and Ukraine. He says supporting both countries is vital to the U.S. and its national security interests. And that speech coming as Israel ramps up its aerial attacks on Hamas in Gaza, and the promised humanitarian aid to millions of Palestinians still has not arrived. Here's Ines Delicatera reporting from Jerusalem.
President Biden making the case for the U.S. to stand firmly with its allies who are at war in Israel and Ukraine.
Well, history has taught us that when terrorists don't pay a price for their terror, when dictators don't pay a price for their aggression, they keep going. And the cost and the threats to America and the world keep rising.
President asking Congress for $105 billion in foreign aid, including roughly $60 billion for Ukraine and $14 billion for Israel.
American leadership is what holds the world together. American alliances is what keep us, America, safe. To put all that at risk if we walk away from Ukraine, if we turn our backs on Israel, it's just not worth it.
For the first time, the U.S. military sent to the region taking action to defend Israel. A U.S. Navy destroyer shooting down missiles and drones believed to have been launched by Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen.
We cannot say for certain what these missiles and drones were targeting, but they were launched from Yemen, heading north along the Red Sea, potentially towards targets in Israel.
Meanwhile, Israeli airstrikes into Gaza continue. Palestinian authorities say at least 16 people were killed in a strike on a Greek Orthodox church that was housing hundreds of displaced people. The humanitarian crisis growing, millions of Palestinians trapped without food, water, medicine, or electricity. More than 100 trucks filled with humanitarian aid are lined up waiting to enter southern Gaza from Egypt's Rafah crossing.
These trucks are not just trucks. They are a lifeline. They are the difference between life and death for so many people in Gaza.
But so far, the crossing remains closed as negotiations to open it and let the aid through continues. Expecting another day of turbulent protests, Israel has evacuated its embassies in at least 5 countries, including Egypt, Jordan, and Morocco. The U.S. State Department, meanwhile, is urging Americans abroad to exercise increased caution as the potential for violence grows. Ines Delicatera, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Some Israeli citizens can now travel to the U.S. without a visa. Israel's participation in the visa waiver program was set to begin November 30th, but the Department of Homeland Security accelerated the opportunity. It's now accepting applications online through the Customs and Border Protection's electronic system for travel authorization. To be eligible, travelers must have a biometrically enabled passport and intend to stay in the U.S. for less than 90 days. Homeland Security says that those with temporary or emergency travel documents or people wishing to stay longer can still apply for a visa, though. Let's get a look at our forecast here. It's 11:03, and we are about to hit the weekend. That is all makes it all the more important here for a nice forecast. Maybe getting outside. Fred,
yeah.
What do you think?
Get outside. Today, it's going to feel more summer-like. Tomorrow and Sunday, temperatures will come down a little bit. If you're wanting to feel a little more fall-like, and maybe get out to the pumpkin patch, you're going to see a ton of this. Clear sky, satellite and radar picture. Look at the blue as we look to the southwest, right over Riverfront Stadium. Should be another football game there tonight. 70 degrees. If you're going to a high school football game tonight, weather should be perfect. 69 Salina, 70 in Dodge City, mid to upper 70s, Goodland, Colby, 69 in Hill City. Wind direction and speed for you out of the west across western Kansas. Still very light in Wichita. If you're heading out for lunch, man, this is patio weather. Get out to your favorite patio for lunch, enjoy it, or I don't know, maybe don't go back to the office. That sounds like a pretty good option too. Your 7-day forecast, I've got it coming up.
All right, thanks, Frank. Well, happening today, closing arguments underway in the case of a man accused of killing a Quick Trip security guard. Leroy West is on trial for second-degree murder in the death of 39-year-old Will Robinson in 2021. Wichita police said previously that Robinson, a former WPD officer, was shot after escorting West out of the Quick Trip formerly located at Murdoch and Broadway for being disruptive. Once outside, police said that there was some kind of physical fight. West shot Robinson and then ran away. Robinson died 2 days later. One man is behind bars this morning, accused of falsely reporting that there was a gunman on campus at Garden City Community College yesterday. 39-year-old Alejandro Salazar now faces multiple charges from this incident. Police say it caused a 4.5-hour campus lockdown. Investigators say Salazar went to the school's library Thursday morning just after 8 and told an employee that there was an active shooter. Police then arrested him and searched all buildings on campus.
They were just kind of Garden City Police Department, like everybody, how many people are in your class, like how many people do we have in here, things like that, like is everybody okay?
The scene was cleared just after noon and no weapons or evidence of an active shooter were located. Well, more money is coming to the state now to help with child care shortages. $11 million from Federal American Rescue Plan Act will go to create more than 1,400 new child care slots. This is the second round of funding distributed to the state. The first allocated more than $43 million back in June. Governor Kelly says expanding access to high-quality, affordable child care will spur economic growth by allowing more families to participate in the workforce and support the healthy development of Kansas children. Also happening today, might want to leave the kids at home for this one, but you can head over to Tanganyika Wildlife Park. A pumpkin patch for adults night is happening there. The event's obviously adults only, meaning at 21 and older, but it'll have fire throwers, alcoholic treats, a close-up magician, a neon flamingo photo booth, and an escape room, along with laser tag. A whole lot going on there. It's at 6 p.m. tonight. Tickets can be purchased at the zoo, on its Facebook page, or on its website. Coming up, Congressman Jim Jordan not giving up, vowing to take his bid for House Speaker for a third time today. And alcohol is a part of many celebrations, but excessive drinking can come with very dangerous